Okay, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much.
To have you been, you good?
Yeah, brother. I've been blessed and highly favored right now.
Good. That's what I like to hear. So, looking back over your catalogue, I can tell you've had a very busy last few years. So, starting from the beginning, if you don't mind, where you from and what was it like for you growing up in your neighbourhood?
Oh, geez. Well, I'm from a lot of places. My mum moved around a bunch when, like, me and my brother and my sister were younger. I was born in Huddersfield, which isn't too far. It's like, I don't know, 30 minutes away, something like that. But I've lived in Australia, lived in Belgium, lived in Malta, Norway, even in England, moved around a bunch, like Middlesbrough, Doncaster. Lived in Doncaster for like 5 years. And yeah, now I'm living in Manny, living a student life.
Cool, so you've really travelled about, haven't you?
Yeah, man, seen a lot.
Yeah?
Seen a lot.
So, was music something that you always knew you wanted to do? And if it wasn't, what was it you remember you wanted to do before music?
Yeah, music wasn't, as a kid, I wasn't like the musical kid. My sister was very, very musically inclined. She's like an amazing singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's dope.
What type of music does she sing?
She's like in the gospel type stuff. She sings in a choir, but like she also likes to sing a little bit of pop and then ballads and all that soppy stuff. But yeah, music was never really my forte as a kid. Like I was always told that I was good at it. Like we had piano lessons when we were younger.
Yeah.
My sister was playing piano before me, but I don't know what it was, but I just had a grasp of it. Like I could get taught something one week, come back the next week having never practiced it and just like be fine playing it again. So I always knew it was like, okay, maybe
You was gifted, basically.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but
yeah. You're naturally gifted.
Yeah, I knew I could do something with it. I was never like, oh, okay, this could be a career or this could be something that I dedicate my life to. But because at the time I was a little nerd, man. I love the sciences, love literature. I went to uni in Australia doing creative writing. So yeah, I was there for.
What was that like?
Well, it didn't work out, so that's why I'm back here. So it was just one of them cases where I think it was when you feel in your gut that it's just not the right place for you to be at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like I'd be sat up in my room, like that one little room that I had in Brisbane, and I'd just be like the work is fine, the work is good, but it's just I just knew
inside you do something else, like burning deep down.
There was no argument inside me at that time. I was like, it's just not the place for me right now. And then I called up my dad, I called up my uncle, called my sister, and I was like, no, I'm coming back to the UK. I'm not do this.
What was it like? What was their response?
I mean, they wanted me to come back because they were all in the UK at that time anyway. So they was like, nah, man, come back.
Big family reunion.
Yeah, so yeah, that was actually nice.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, it was when I dropped out of uni.
Yeah.
I went back to live with my mum because she lives like 4 hours away from Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I went to live with her. I was using my sister's bedroom because she'd left the UK.
Yeah.
She'd left Australia, went back to the UK. So she had a spare room basically, and I was like, let me just use this as a studio.
Yeah.
Let me just try to do some shit. Like I'm not doing anything else because I was trying to work, saving money so I could buy my ticket to go back to the UK. So I was like, let me just use this room as a studio, and that's literally just how I started doing music, and it just cascaded on and on and on from there.
Wow.
But I guess to answer your question, creative writing was what I wanted to do at the time.
Okay, so it was a creative writing.
I wanted to be a novelist. I wanted to
Would you say that helped you structure your writing more? Is it something that you're glad that you did because it helped you structure your writing more?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not really good at actually structuring. But I think because I've read so much, because I've been in that creative writing space so much, it's just in me at that point. So I don't have to actually think about how many syllables are going to fit into this one bar. It's just either fits or it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess that comes with a lot of practice and having studied poetry and all those things and things that people I don't know might say hey, you're a rapper, you're not supposed to be studying Shakespeare poetry, but to me it's
did look at poetry and did read and study poetry, so they'd have to go and do their homework on that one to find out that sometimes it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up as a child, what kind of music was getting played in your household, if you remember?
Gospel. gospel and like African music, Yoruba music, Igbo music, all that sort of stuff. Mainly Nigerian. There was like a bit of Ivorian music. When it comes to maybe like mainstream stuff, my dad had these. I have not seen them since I've came back to the UK. But you know the CD. I don't know what to call it. Little
vinyl decks.
Yeah, little vinyls. He had
Everyone had them growing up.
My dad had a few of those. My mom didn't like the fact that he had them because it wasn't gospel music, but he had like Corinne Bailey Ray. He had her album, and I'm not gonna lie, I rinsed that album. I used to take his little radio cassette player,
boombox,
and take it to my room, just put that in and just listen to it. I was like, this is nice.
That's when you got the bite for the music,
yeah. But I wouldn't say we were like a massively musical family. Everyone, not hugely. Like if it wasn't gospel that was playing, we weren't kind of allowed to listen to anything else.
So you had to kind of like hide the rap.
Like I didn't actually start listening to rap music until I was maybe just about to turn 12, 13, that type of age, because I borrowed a book from the library. I still haven't returned it. That's what I do. I just steal books.
We've all got one.
So it was this book just about rap.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a bit interesting. Why don't they make a book about rap? And it had a little CD in the back.
Okay.
And on the CD, it had like little parts of songs. Like it had Missy Elliott on there.
Nice.
Had parts of Eminem songs on there.
Nice.
And I'll just be listening to them back and back and back and again. And then I was just like, okay, let me try writing it out based on what they're saying. I don't know why. It was just a little exercise. Let me just write out what they're saying. Because it was so fast, and I was like, I want to get this, and it became like I was obsessed with just like I want to be able to get it, and then once I got it, I would say it in time with the track, and that would like help me with my flow, I guess. So that's what we did, but we weren't a musical family. We're all kind of like individuals and introverts, and like that's just how my family are. We don't necessarily like bond over music or anything like that. Which is fine. Like that's just how some families are, but. Yeah, that's how it went for us.
Cool. So what types of genres of music did you listen to that you inspired you over the years that really motivated you to pursue a music career? Like what was it that stood out to you that was like, right, you know what? This is it.
When I first started writing, and this is long before rap, but just as a thing that I did as a kid, when I first started, it was mostly like ballads. Because I knew my sister was a singer, so I was like, okay, maybe if my sister gets to be a famous singer, I could be a writer, and then I could get this money. So I just write a bunch of ballads. And I had this little black book. It was because the Australian Army came to our school one day, and they were giving out a bunch of free stuff, and I was like, they were giving out hats, and I was like, bro, I want a hat. So I went in the line. I was like, give me a hat, please. As soon as I got to the front of the line, no more hats. I was like, okay, then what you got for me? They gave me a pen and they gave me a notebook. I was like, calm. In my bedroom right now. And that's how I just started writing out all these ballads and stuff. And I showed them to my sister, and she was like, It's like, that's
a little bit of jealousy.
It's like, no, she was like, that's a bit white, I'm not going to sing that. It's too
really?
white for me. It's like, no, I'm not going to sing that. I was like, well, what am I going to do with all these songs that I've written? Then I was like, okay, I might as well just, try and sing them myself. So that's how I kind of got into like from songwriting transitioning into performing, which was really cool because at the end of our schooling in Australia, there was this big like ceremony for the like year 11s because we only got up to year 11 there, and then for the final performance, my sister, because she did a lot of singing for the school throughout the years, she was doing a performance, and then we kind of made it a surprise for all the people in our year because they were all sat behind a curtain. My sister was singing in front of them, and then as the curtain rose, I walked on and we did a duet together. So that was like, that's even to this day, that's probably one of like the highlights of my life because it was just so cool, and like people in the back because they didn't know I could sing. They didn't like my year did not know I could sing. They didn't know I was going to do anything.
That was your exclusive to the world. Letting them know this is what I can do. This is who I am.
So that was really, really cool.
I like that. Now, looking over your SoundCloud, I can see there is a track on there called "The Fall." Was this your very first track you made, and where did you go to record this? Do you remember that? And also, do you remember that feeling of recording your first song, that excitement?
The Fall. The Fall, actually, no, that wasn't my first. The first one, I think, was Castles.
Castles?
That was the very first one. Okay. Yeah, I remember writing that one out. That was, I was trying to get into my Frank Ocean bag a little bit.
Yeah.
That one especially.
I can see that, I can hear it.
The Fall was kind of similar vibe as well. But I think that one, I was just trying to, it was just more free flowing.
Yeah.
Whereas Castles, it was like I was trying to make sure it was structured like pretty precisely. But the feeling, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, because at the beginning, it's like you're pushing yourself a little bit. You're pushing yourself to do it. You're pushing yourself to make sure that it works. But then around about halfway through writing, it just clicks, and then it just flows. Like usually I'll be like start one line, look at it, stop, think about it, think about what could be the next line, write the next line. But then around about halfway through, it's just like it just flows.
It just flows and it's
yeah. And then when you look at it after you've written the whole thing, it's just like, man, this is okay, you know. Like,
you start feeling yourself. You start saying it to everybody, like, yo, listen to this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've also got a bunch of other songs on there. You've got The Father, as I mentioned. You've got No Visual, Chewer, Clown, Demon Freestyle, and Therapy. Have you ever had any singing lessons? Because you've got a very unique sounding voice.
Thank you. Singing. I mean, technically now I have.
Yeah.
Not when I started out. I've had singing lessons because now I'm in acting, like theatre school.
Nice.
So we do singing lessons there, but it's not. Well, it's not. Like, I've seen my sister do singing lessons. That's not really the type of singing lesson that I'm doing right now. We're just kind of standing around the piano doing la 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 la, which is fine. It is what it is. So, but no, not proper singing lessons. No.
Yeah.
Which is like, as much as I do like singing, I don't really like singing lessons. I don't like to be told what to do. I just like to do it, and if people like it or don't, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's the best way to be. Sometimes self-made is the best way to be, and that way no one can say, oh, you sound like this person. You know, you tend to pick up bad habits from other people as well. So I understand that. I mean, what's the process of creating these songs that you make? I mean, each song is so different, but yet it complements each other so well when I'm listening to your work.
I say it depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it could be, I'll see a word and it'll just be such a cool word that I'll be like, oh, that could be a title for a song.
Yeah.
And then it'll just snowball into a song.
Yeah.
Other times there'll be an image in my head and I'm like, okay, how can I express this image in song form, in a verse, in a hook or something like that. Or like sometimes it'll be mismatched and I'll have a hook that I've written like a year beforehand or like 3 months beforehand.
Yeah. And
then I'll write a verse and think, what? I can't get the hook right. So I'll look back through all the stuff I've written and be like, that hook is perfect for this song. Yeah. And then maybe I'll go back and change some things so it could be right. But yeah, it depends. But usually it is just, it's a pretty boring process.
There's not no one process. It's
like multiple processes. But it does usually end up being like me sat down thinking for a bit, and then
brainstorm.
Yeah. So and I don't really edit my songs.
Oh,
I don't.
really?
Yeah, I don't really like to do it. I like.
You just leave it raw.
Yeah, like.
Oh, that's interesting.
For me, it's like.
No changing nothing, not taking nothing back, just leaving it. That's
unless like minor words, like if there's an and in the sentence and it messes up the flow of the sentence, and I'll take that out. But I don't go back and like redo hooks or redo verses. I'd rather it just be raw, even if it's not perfect. That's like, okay, it is what it is. That's what I want.
People appreciate that though. Yeah. You know, I mean, they appreciate that. Sometimes you can get something and it's a bit too nice. It's a bit too chopped up. It's a bit too well. I don't like music to sound too polished. Yeah. I don't think that's the point of it. I mean, I don't know, because to be fair, I've been learning about this in drama school. I've been learning about this thing about Apollo and Dionysus. It's this Greek god mythology shit. Okay. And then on the one side you have Apollo, who's like
perfect poetry and everything's beautiful and sanctimonious. And on the other side, you have Dionysus, who's literally the god of wine and getting drunk and just being like crazy and shit. And it's all about like the balance between both.
Yeah.
So I think if you have the structure of the rap, which is, I don't know, leaning towards beauty and all that sort of shit, and then you have the wildness and the
crazy idea of it.
So you kind of gotta have to find some way to mash them up together. Now, for me, it's like, okay, I know how to write a rap, I know how to structure the shit.
Yeah.
Now it's once I bring my personality in and my craziness and all that, it's like boom. So I don't need to edit it because it's coming from here.
Coming straight from you.
Exactly, it's coming straight
pouring
from
it
here.
straight onto the piece of paper or through the microphone, so to speak. I mean, what I love about you as an artist is the way you're able to not only sing, but you can rap and also switch the flows and have hard hitting punchlines. I mean, how long did it take you to master both rapping and singing as well as you have?
I wouldn't say I've mastered it. I definitely wouldn't say I've mastered it. I'm really just, even now I'm still trying to refine my sound.
Yeah.
And like express myself in a more pure way.
Yeah.
I'd say with, at least on rapping, it's just, you just have to listen to a fuck ton of rap.
Yeah.
And you just have to write like it's going out of fashion. I'd be sat in school. The amount of times my notebooks would get confiscated from teachers because I'd just be in lesson just writing, break time, writing,
You
writing.
say you got to do your 10,000 hours or something.
It's like it, and it's the thing is, if you approach it as work, like I'm working 10,000 hours, then you're not really gonna get the most out of it. You have to treat it as,
and you enjoy it. And love it.
you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of trying to be a rapper if you're not? If writing raps is gonna make you feel bored.
You're frustrated every time. You're not getting the best out of your mind. You're not being creative. You're just forcing it. Your music definitely doesn't sound forced. You can tell it's definitely come from a great place, and you put much thought into it and deep emotion into it. Full-bodied work. I really enjoyed listening to your music. I mean, what do you think about the music scene in Manchester? I mean,
I think I'm one of them type of people where I don't really pay attention to what's going on around me, which is like for better and worse. Like I know it's something that I definitely need to work on.
Yeah.
But my headspace is, if as an individual you can be who you are, you can do your work to the best of your ability, then eventually things will get better around you.
Yeah.
Music wise, like if you're grinding so hard and your music is that good, then the rest of the scene will grow.
Fall in line with it.
And not even as everyone else is gonna try copy you and march in line.
Just an organic thing that will happen, so to speak.
You'll start making friends in the industry. You'll start making links, and you'll all be able to come up together as a community, and it won't be like a crab in a bucket mentality where I've got to drag you down so I can get to the top of the scene. It's like, nah, like we're all, at the end of the day, we're all trying to make each other better. We're trying to make Manchester.
Exactly. Only highlights the city by putting the city on the map.
That's what I'm saying. We're trying to make this Manchester part 2, man. Like,
definitely. And that's all it is. I mean, let's talk about your visuals on YouTube. I mean, you've got so much content on YouTube. I have to salute you, grind, sir. I really do. So again, we'll go back to your old projects before we talk about your new content, because you've got to remember where you came from. It's know where you're going. So you've got online, I was looking, you've got one called Prometheus, which was done 2 years ago. You got Honey 2 years ago. Too Far, 7 Days, Broke Boy, done 2 years ago. Now fast forward a year later, and you drop your official video for Diva on your own channel. The singer in this is dope. The vibe of the track is very calm, it's dope, it's very distinctive voice. Like I said to you earlier, it's very similar to Cole J Radical, one of my favourite artists. I mean, is this something you've heard before, and who would you say your style is similar to?
I have heard Koji before. A few of my friends have said Koji. A few of my friends have said Loyal Kana.
Okay.
I don't necessarily see that, but but I'll take it because I think he's fucking dope. I think
I was gonna say that's a good one.
Yeah. I've heard JID.
Yeah.
Heard him quite a lot.
for me, personally, I got to throw Frank Ocean in the mix there
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I love Frank Ocean. He's fucking sick.
Yeah. I think yeah, you got a very similar style to these guys. The pockets that you're hitting on the tracks.
Yeah, like, but I'd say the artist, the language, the artist that I'm really trying to dig deep into how they can do what the fuck they do. It's like Biggie, one of my favorites, just how he's able to sound so smooth. I think that's not something that I've mastered yet, but I'm fucking gonna try to.
Yeah. You getting
like, yeah, that's something that I want. Andre 3000, obviously,
of course.
the GOAT, the fucking GOAT. I'm always trying to just even now he raps like a fucking alien, man.
Yeah,
like, the way
it's
he
the next
fucking
level.
raps is just different.
His thought process is something completely different.
Yeah,
it's all over the place. It's scattered.
But it's amazing at the same time.
Yeah. If you ever watch one of his lyric videos that he has on YouTube,
where they highlight all
his lyrics are just, you wouldn't expect the next. You never expect him the next line, and the way he longs out his words.
They come out in weird places, and he'll do a bar, and the last word of the line will rhyme, but it's not the end of the line because it'll keep on going to the next line.
Yeah. You thinking it's still going? How's it done that?
Yeah, like unpredictable as hell. That's what I want to add into my repertoire. Just like the unpredictability, like you don't know where this nigga's gonna go.
Yeah, definitely. So then you followed it up with For Me, and that was again on your own channel in 2021. I actually love the visuals on this one. There's great cutaways, again, very subtle scenes, complement the bars.
Yeah.
The content, again, is very dope, great storytelling skills, which makes it easy to relate to the piece of art. I mean, with you dropping so much content on your own channel, is this a plan? Do you think it's important for artists to not be scared to build their own channels without using bigger platforms? And what do you think the benefit is of doing that?
Well, first of all, shout out to Split The Atom, because those are the niggas that did the video. They fucking killed that shit.
They do great work.
Yeah,
I've worked with them guys in the past, so they do great work.
But to answer the question, it's not necessarily. Well, I feel like you have to back yourself if you wanna do anything. Like, so why not put stuff out on your own channel, even if it's not gonna get the same clout that it would get if you put it on, I don't know, like one of the
big major channels,
or one of them big, like it's you, like you have control over it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have control over it than send it away to someone and like, oh yeah, we'll give you big views, but you don't.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have the rights to it. You don't own nothing to it. I mean, a lot of people tend to run for the big brand names, and you've really. It seems like you're betting on yourself. I like to see that. I like to see a lot of people try and do that, because that's something that I think we should all do, is get better on ourselves, because why not? Your product, you know what I mean?
I'd rather just grind it out, because I know eventually the music's gonna speak for itself. Like, it might be a case at this point in time where it's not getting out to as much people as I want, or I'm not putting out as much content as I want to, but at the end of the day, I'd rather like bet on myself on this journey.
Be on your terms and do it in your own way. I like that. I mean, in 2021, you also dropped 3 dope freestyles. Candy Rain, you dropped that with MicCheck. I actually love the old school remix track in the background. Again, your flows, you deliver, absolute dope. Your wordplay is next level. Plus the way you subtly just switch it from rapping to singing, just out of the blue, oh, by the way, guys, I sing.
Gotta hit with different stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it felt like you recorded at a rehearsal spot. It was just so organic. And then you dropped Rhyme and Bars episode 1 with the Rain freestyle, and then you had a Pi Radio shutdown sessions 2021, which again was nothing but big flows, bars with big energy to match your wordplay. Literally, you killed the chorus. It's the choruses that you got at the moment. You know,
that was a fun day. That was a fun day. I remember that.
It's so catchy that, like, straight away I'm hearing the songs, and all of a sudden it's like it's in my head, and I'm singing away to it. I mean, I see that you've done a lot of work with MicCheckMedia.
Yeah, man. Shout out, MicCheck.
How did this relationship come about or happen?
How did it come about? Oh wait, no. My uncle went to school with the dude who run MicCheck.
Okay.
Then, I think he just put in a word. He's like, oh yeah, do you know what? My little cousin, my little nephew, he raps. They're like, oh really? So I went round to their house with a USB of all my tracks. put it on. We just sat there in the summer, and because it takes me a while to like, I'm quite shy on the first meeting with people, so I was literally just sat there like outside of the garden as my music's blaring from the speaker, just sat there. But yeah, they said it was dope, and then we started linking up from there, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Cool. I mean, you guys are doing a lot of work at the moment. You're very consistent at the moment. These guys seem to be everywhere. I mean, again, in 2021, you dropped another official video entitled Castles, which is a lyric video, again on MicCheckMedia channel. Now, I thought this one was very deep and meaningful. The lyrics, I got a vibe, it was like a relationship scenario, kind of feel into it. What I do love is the effects on the actual lined piece of paper. It was very clever, not too much, not too, you know, the way that you had little edits on the top of it, I just like clocked that now. What I want to talk about here, which is very interesting, is Northside, the animated lyric video. You done that 11 months ago. Now, it was very different compared to the remix Redemption animated lyric video, which you dropped with MicCheck. One was very drill orientated. One of them was very drill orientated, and one of them was like more of a calm. Talk me through why you chose to use such different beats, and which do you prefer, and what were the thought process into the animated videos, as this was not your first animated video?
Well, animated videos, that was DJ Squall, man. I gotta give props to him, bro. He's really, he's shown major love. And then the Redemption remix, that was my man Levs. He made the original beat. And then he was like, okay, I feel like we could do something different. And I was like, listen, man, do your thing. I'm not gonna stop you at all, bro. Do your thing. So, and obviously, I can't really say which one I prefer. I like them both. Like they both my babies to me. That's like, I can't pick a favorite child. I like having differences though. That's something I really want to do going forward. Is have like little more remixes of my own tracks and changing the beat up and maybe even changing the lyrics up to just so it can match. It's I don't know why I like it so much. I just like the idea of like constantly hitting people from like just different things, different angles. Even if you think, this is the same song, it's like, nah, different. Now
I ended up listening to both of them anyway again, and because they sound so different. You know, that one's calm and then you hear the drill beat and it's energetic and it's you're like, oh wait, and it's actually the flow that you're delivering with the drill beat as well. You're carrying yourself. It's just like, whoa. I mean, touching on drill, with so much knife crime on the rise in the UK, do you think drill music has a big effect, or is this just another stereotype?
Oof, that's a tough one. Let me try to answer this in the best way I can. Let's see. I think drill music is just an extension of that culture. It's not necessarily a catalyst for it. It's a result. It's the same thing that happened in America in the 90s, like with all the gangster rapping and all that. Of course, like people were dying, people still dying to this day, you know what I'm saying? But music is sort of a way, an outlet for them to express themselves without having to, you know, stab someone or shoot someone up. Of course. And it's a way for them to get off the streets. On that regard, I can see like how it could be a good thing. But obviously, on the other side, you do get it's like niggas and gangs who do drill is still niggas and gangs who do drill. So
they don't help themselves talking about smoking the homies and then actually smoking them in a spliff.
So
you know, dropping locations. You know, it doesn't help. I mean, what do you think about the cancelling culture and how it's like affected people like Tory Lanez, the Baby, Kanye? I mean, and several others. I mean, they've been cancelled. Do you think it's fair? Has it become tougher to speak your mind in music nowadays? Do you think?
It's become tougher to speak your mind. Period. Period. I mean, obviously, there's some when niggas are doing fucked up shit. There's gonna be punishments for that. There's also the case where if I do some fucked up shit. And I get cancelled. Most of the people who cancel me don't know the context of what the fuck I've done. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, every individual case is different. But at the same time, it seems like it's just this whole wave of, oh, you've done this one thing, even if it was 5 years ago or some shit. Like, boom, let's just get this nigga around.
A lot of it seems to be from back in the day. They found something, and if took offense to it and and a lot of people tried to cancel Eminem due to a Rihanna song
Yeah,
and
man.
things like that. I mean, so I see you worked with Treehouse podcast, as you've done a few different things with them.
Yes, sir. Shout out Treehouse.
Yeah, you've done Roses featuring Chico, which was a lyric video only 2 months ago. This was another nice chilled vibe based around bars. I would say a relationship vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Very R&B, very R&B. How did that collaboration happen, and who would you like to collaborate with in the future?
Okay, well, first things first. It basically happened like me and Chico. We were just in the studio together.
Okay.
Lev's had a bunch of beats that Chico was going through, and then he was like, "Okay, this is the one."
Yeah.
And then he started doing his thing now, and everyone was like vibing to it. I was like, yeah. But then I was sat outside the booth on the sofa, and I'm so competitive that I was just like, there is no way this man is gonna do this on a track, and I'm not gonna hop on it as well.
Yeah.
So I was just instantly like, listen, just get me in there. Like as he was doing his thing, I was writing. I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I got something for you, bro. Like, I'm really fucking competitive. Like I don't like if it's creative stuff. Then like I don't want to be second place.
Yeah,
like I'll take joint one. I'll take joint first place, but I'm not going to be second place. So
as a rapper, you gotta feel that way. I mean, there's a story where Biggie and Method Man are on a track, and they go back and forth, and it's funny because Biggie is speaking to someone. He says, Biggie says to one of his boys, "Yo, I think Method Man got me on that track." And then Method Man, because Method Man was telling a story, and he's like, Method Man saying to his boy, "Yo, I think Biggie got me on the track." So it's always there, the competition with each other on the track, it's always there. But it's always good to have that friendly competition on the track, because then it raises the track and it makes it more bigger of a full-bodied work. So
it's always healthy.
It's always good.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you've done a lot of work again with the Treehouse podcast. You've done a freestyle, which is only 6 days old on there.
Yes, sir.
That's absolutely fire. I can see you definitely putting your grind in. Lastly, and there's a reason I work this way, and I'll explain, is your mixtape that you dropped 2 years ago on MicCheck. It's available on Dat Piff. Anywhere else is it available?
It should be on my SoundCloud as well.
On your SoundCloud as well?
Yeah.
Now, I left it to the last as some of the tracks that we discussed you can find on the mixtape, which is why you should go and grab and download the mixtape, because let me tell you now, it is a full-bodied piece of work. Now, the mixtape is called B.O.W.D. What's the meaning of the title and why that name?
Well, it's got a lot of meanings. I can't even remember all the meanings, but it started out because I shaved my head. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna shave my head. So it's like B.O.W.D. So it sounds like bald.
Yeah.
If you say it like that, but it also sounds like bored, because I was at a point in my life where I was just like, what the fuck am I even doing? I'm bored as hell. And then it's also an acronym, but I can't even remember what the acronym stands for at this point.
It was so long ago and you've done so much.
Yeah, it was time ago.
No, there's so many different tracks on there that are my favourite. I go through a few of them. Who's featured on this mixtape?
On the mixtape? No.
Just yourself?
Just me.
Just yourself. Reason I'm gonna ask, what's the reason for that?
Because
is it a competition thing? Is it in your head? You're like, because it's your first project, you just want to shine on it, or?
No, it was just because at that time when I was recording those ones, I just didn't have the facilities. Like none of them songs was recorded in a studio. It was all just recorded in bedrooms. Like so,
really?
With mic stand and a mic, USB mic, plugged it into the laptop and just recorded it all myself.
I'm
mixed
shocked.
it, mastered it myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make the beats myself for all of them. Like Castles I did.
Yeah.
And a few, like, here and there.
So now you're really pissing people off. You're telling people you make beats as well?
I do make beats as well. But mainly because, like, I think I just have a very specific, like, sound. I have a very specific ear. Like, usually it might take, like, if I go through, like, 10 beats, maybe I'll choose one of them. Maybe one of them will stand out to me. But if I make all the beats myself, then I'll already know that it suits me because I made it to suit me.
You know where you built it around yourself, so you know everything about it, ins and outs. when I make beats, I want to use a rap. That's one of the things I used to love about making my own beats, is I know the beat inside out. I know kind of catered. It sounds egotistical, but I've catered for myself on that track. You know what I mean? It's
as
like,
it should be.
you know what I mean? Your mixtape has a bag of flows, harmonies, lyrical flows, and the big beats as we've just been discussing. Now, my favorite tracks. Prometheus, I think that's kind of, I'm pronouncing that correct, yeah?
Yeah, Prometheus.
I personally think you got Frank Ocean vibes on that track. The harmonies, Broke Boy, Superstar, FTB, stupid flows on that. The energy is like almost Outcast. It reminds me of the energy on that. Reminds me of that Outcast track, that Bombs Over Baghdad. Yeah, it's really energetic. It's really in your face. It's just, even if it's not got a video to it, it feels like it's just in your face already. You already kind of like understand where it's going.
Yeah.
Too Far Gone, no visual. That's black. That's that for me. That's got that Black Stars, Most Def, Talib Kweli vibes to it. Like, I just love the old school boom bap vibe, and that just took me back to that whole Jay Dilla vibe.
I need to get back on that vibe too. Because even my uncle, the rest of my family was like, why don't you do more boom bap? This is like your best song. But I'm like, nah, you just an old head, bro. You just always.
You know, sometimes though, when you say to someone nowadays, oh, you know what your best track was? That boom bap track. Yeah. It's almost like you're insulting them, but you're not insulting them.
Like obviously, like, because he's my uncle, so I'm never gonna take it as an
insult.
I was a bit like, but I want to go forward. I want to do more. I want to do something. I want to create a sound like nobody's ever heard before. So I don't want to just. But again, I also do love boom bap. So
plus, it's the people that pick up the music, and you got to look at that and be like, oh, they love that. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to that. Do you know what I mean? Also, I like clown as well. I mean, what would you say are your favorite to listen to, and which ones was the most fun or meant the most for you to make?
The one that meant the most for me was Chewy.
Okay.
Yeah, because I made that for my sister. Because nice. The nickname that my dad gave her is Chewies.
Okay.
And so they're Chewy for short. So I was like, yeah, that one's for her. And then she said,
I like that.
Because that was when I was in Australia, she was in the UK. So obviously there was that distance, and we weren't like talking as much as we should have. Yeah,
as you do as family.
Yeah, but I made that song for her, and then I sent it to her, and then she said, like, she called me, she's like, it made me cry, and I was like,
oh, that's nice, that's nice.
So yeah, that's a very special one to my heart. My favourite, funnest one to listen to, I like Demon Freestyle. Yeah. I like Superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, I like all of them. I could say any of them, really. It just depends what mood I'm in. I could say every single one. The Fall I think is really smooth. Yeah. I liked how that came out. It sounds crisp as hell.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that, because I'll just go through every single one. But, yeah.
Honestly, like, it's a full-bodied piece of work. Really impressed with how you put all these tracks together. Again, you left me guessing as to what the next track's gonna hold. Like I say, even on no visual, right near the end, as I'm listening, vibing, out of the blue comes this flow, this double da-da-da-da-da-da. I was just thinking, what? I wasn't ready for that. I was sitting chilling. Trying to catch a vibe, So I love that.
Nobody's safe from these flows.
Nobody's safe. I mean, I can appreciate you're a busy man, so I won't take up any more of your time. Just before I do go, where can the people find you and your content online?
Okay, so NZR 707. That's where most of my stuff is on any platform. It's either on Instagram, it's NZR.707.
Yeah.
On everything else, it's just Niza 707. And you should be able to find everything like SoundCloud, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on DatPiff. Yeah, I think that's just about everything. I don't have a Twitter, and I don't think I'll ever have a Twitter, because that shit, that is just a cesspool of fucking madness that I'm not gonna dip my toe into. But
you see what happened to Kanye, you don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, man.
Cancel culture's on there, they're waiting for it.
They're waiting for all of us, bro. I'm not gonna get caught up in that trap.
Don't do it.
They hunting for young black men, man. It's not gonna be me.
We're not safe. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out. Take care. Peace.